Okay, hi everybody. Thank you all for taking the time to hop on tonight. We are very excited to be bringing this training to you. I think it is very timely with the amount of momentum that we've had on our teams in the last several months. I think that all of you have done a really good job growing your teams. You've got duplication happening. We've got new silvers, new golds, all of that. And it's all very exciting. And I love a new customer just like everybody else. But when we work so hard to add these new customers to our team, it's such a shame if we don't work closely enough with them and allow them to quit, fall off. We don't give them enough information. They don't feel as connected with us, all of that, right? And I think sometimes we get so focused on enrolling, which the incentives are there for that reason, right? We want to grow our teams, we want to do all that. But you're going to be a rat stuck in a wheel if you're constantly enrolling people just to have them go out the back door at the end of the day. Okay. I consider my job never done until I've helped them achieve the results that they came to me seeking. So we want to make sure that we're building a stable team and a stable business with a secure foundation. So we've got to become really passionate about helping customers remain consistent, troubleshoot their products, celebrate their wins, share, feel confident that they know what they're doing and that they know how to get the results that they are looking for, and confident that they can trust you to guide them to those results. So today, Erica, Carrie, and I are going to give you our best tips for keeping your customers consistent, making progress, seeing results, and feeling like Plexus lifers like we are, right? And so first up, Erica is going to share with you a few things about how she's made some mindset shifts regarding customer care and the changes she's made in her business to improve retention in recent months. So Erica, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Allie. I first have to say that this has been a journey over just the last few months. I didn't have a lot of fantastic customer care, and really it's still something that I'm working on daily until very recently. My business in around October, November of this last year was really faltering, even though I had really high enrollments around in the fall. My customer retention was really poor. I was losing customers left and right. I understood that it was something that I needed to work on, and honestly, I didn't really want to, which is not something I'm proud of, but that's the truth. I recognized that the customer care piece was something that was an issue for me because of the way I felt toward it. It was begrudging. It was like treading through mud and muck to get that task done on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, which for me, I consider myself a person of character. I consider myself someone who is a truth teller. It is incredibly important to me. Any relationship issues ever are like with friends or whatever, it's because I feel like someone's not telling the truth. I am very, very intent on telling the truth. And I realized that I had been basically lying to my customers. I had been telling them that I was going to provide them with care, and I wasn't doing ultimately my best work in providing them the care that really they deserve. And then ultimately not getting the results that they really wanted, desired, and that I knew they could achieve. And so to shift my mindset around that, I had to be really honest with what was going on in my business. I had to purposefully seek help. So I volunteered in our mastermind training, and the amazing Kelly Higginbotham just really knocked it into me. Why are you doing this, Erica? Why are you doing this? And seeking help from people that I trust to help me figure out, why am I thinking the way I am about this task in my business? It is one of the important legs. Why am I letting it falter? What is it about that piece that feels like it's difficult for me? And really, a lot of what it came down to is I was nervous that they were going to give me a response that I didn't want to hear. Ultimately, I was really nervous that they were going to tell me that the products weren't working for them. And I knew that they would. And so instead of being confident in the products and in the business and in my ability to support them through their journey, I would, hide in a hole instead. And then I would let too much time go by. And by then it felt like the damage was already done. So instead of trying to fix it, I would just kind of let it go. And ultimately my business suffered because of it. So I realized that this was an issue, sought help, and including mindset around my business. If I really want to continue building a Plexus business, if this is really important to me, I need to be doing this. And how can I make this a better part of my day? How can I make sure that this is something that I get done every day? So I also sought help from Kelly, for some mindset training around finances and the business side of it, just to really help do a good overall forward thinking business mindset training that then has impacted ultimately my customer service, which has impacted my business. Through those mindset opportunities and discussions and really sitting down with my husband and my teammates, you guys know Becca Anderson. I have been spending a lot of time with her, really talking about our mindset, seeking out people that are my sidelines, seeking out my upline, seeking out my sidelines, all of these people. I decided I really need more training. I need more training. I need to make this something that is doable for me in a way that doesn't feel so all of the time. And I personally, I didn't like the every couple days, same text to all the same people. It just wasn't working for me. And I couldn't quite put my finger on why that was, but I knew something needed to be done. So the first thing I did actually was watch a Gold Masterminds training series from Brooke Hemingway that she made a few years ago, actually. And I'm going to drop that in the chat right now so that you guys have access to the one in particular that I'm referencing. But she has a whole 4 video series. They're each about an hour long. And then also the February Focus videos that came out just a couple months ago. There were, I think every weekday, thank you, Ali. Every weekday, there was just a super short video. I watched all of those. I did a bunch of other trainings and utilized a lot of the other resources from the Rise Tribe business page to seek out more training regarding customer care, customer retention, and getting my customers back. So one of the things, I would like to share just a few things with you that really stood out to me. Those ultimately, the big ticket items were that a proactive, enthusiastic, and positive follow-up was going to be key for me because it really changed my attitude going into the customer care piece. And what that meant for me was changing my verbiage. And I actually started using a variation of what Brooke Hemingway says in this training, and what I've actually heard a few other people on this team use recently as well, and I think has come out in some of the other Jewel trainings recently. Instead of using the terms or the verbiage, so how's it going lately? Pause, awkward, not super hopeful, just kind of assuming that maybe it's going poorly. I've changed my verbiage to sound a lot more positive, a lot more enthusiastic, and a lot more confident. That has been the key for me. So instead, in this training, she mentioned something like this: I'm so excited for you. You're on day 3. You are just getting started. This is so exciting. Fill me in on how things are going, or how are you loving your products lately? I actually used this with one of my customers who's brand new yesterday. And instead of giving me all of the junk that she could have potentially given me regarding her detox and all of these things, she was really encouraged to look ahead to what is coming next. So that was really exciting. She told me, I took too much Metaburn, or whatever. And I'm like, that's okay. We can totally figure that out. what did it feel like today? And now I know how it's going for her and that she's excited. And I'm just really, really encouraged. Using this new verbiage has helped me bring in a new energy level into my interactions with my brand newbies, to just have that enthusiastic, encouraging, compassionate reach out. And then their response is so different. They give me way more details that I had to prod for before. So I have been so encouraged by this. I have felt like my relationship with my new customers has deepened through this opportunity or this change that I've had in using this new type of verbiage and energy going into these reach outs with them. And I have ultimately, I feel like I'm in a better place to also begin talking about who else in your life could benefit from these products, because they're looking at the positive every time we interact now. So that has been really, really encouraging. I've been talking to them over the phone more, as well as in person more. And that has been a big key as well, instead of relying on written messages, to actually hear people's inflections, to have them hear the excitement in my voice, and to have a more natural conversation about their products and their experience. And that also bringing that energy in and that confidence in to inviting people that have stopped using the products or have totally quit, or it's been a while since they ordered, or they're inconsistent, to come back. So I didn't used to invite people to come back because I was too nervous to do it. I didn't want to hear bad stuff. I just didn't. Is ultimately what it came down to. I like to tell myself that that's not how I was feeling, but it really was. And recently, going into the Gut Health Jumpstart group that we have, I purposefully went through my entire back office, anyone that has ever ordered, and I reached out to them, said, hey, remember when you had these health goals? And we were hopeful that Plexus products would help you with that. Well, now that I am where I am, I have extra training. I have extra product knowledge. You know, if they're like from when I very first started, I remind them, I'm so sorry. I really let you down. And I am confident that these products will help you reach the goals that you want to reach. And I had, I think, 4 people come back to join me for the Gut Health Jumpstart that had super quit. So I was so encouraged, bringing that confidence into that interaction, that even though they've quit, which if you don't know my story, I quit twice before, that I am confident that these products will help you. And I am ready to stand by you, and I'm ready to do my job in helping you get the customer service that you need to reach the goals that you desire for you. So I think that's all I had. Okay, Carrie is going to talk to you next about sharing her customer success and quality customer care. Carrie has been killing it lately with her customer care. Carrie, take it away.
Thank you, Erica. Okay, hi guys. I'm getting over, well, not even really getting over being sick, but I'm slightly sick, so bear with me. Everybody can hear me, right? Like, yeah, good, okay. So a lot of the stuff that I wanted to talk about was sharing, like customer success obviously is crucial, and success of network marketing lies in how impressive our customer service is. So being really prompt with our customer inquiries is super important, and responding within a reasonable amount of time frame is huge, so that they know that they can feel supported and feel like you're not leaving them hanging with a lot of their products, so they're not on this journey alone. Sorry, I'm going to look at some of my bullet points here too, because I kind of just went off writing down so much stuff. But basically being meaningful and having accurate responses. People can appreciate when you say, I don't know the answer to this, but let me go get that for you. Like, if you're just being honest with them that you might not have a lot of knowledge in a certain area, then you're going to go find the right answers for them. Obviously being courteous and respectful, no matter what kind of attitude or sass that they might be giving you. They are always, customers are obviously always right. But also go the extra mile to make your customers feel special. Send them like birthday cards every month, or every month. Send them birthday cards, send bi-monthly, like send them a letter, let them know that you're thinking about them, that you're here for them, just by sending them something and just letting them know that you're here, encouraging them. And it's the little things that are super big, and go a long ways. So also be a servant, be a servant to them, make sure that they know that you're here. And what was it about your upline that made you feel valued and special? Were they always following up with you? Were they making sure that you were getting your water in? When you had stuff that was going on in your life, were they checking in? Maybe there's a loss in your family, were they checking in with you? Those things, those going a little bit further just to make sure that they know that you're there is huge. And I know that when I was going through things, Allie was always there. And that was just a big deal to me to know that I had somebody that was checking in on me, and it didn't just always feel that it was about Plexus. So go that extra mile, letting them know that you're there for them and that it isn't just about Plexus. And then, yeah, we definitely, like Erica had said, phone calls are big. They're huge. I know that when I was doing a lot of reach outs and stuff, it kind of just felt like very like not authentic. Like I was reaching out and being like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And a lot of times I would just get ghosted, and so I eventually just came to a point where I reached out and was like, is there a better way to like be able to contact you? Would be like getting on the phone be a good thing? I just want to make sure that I'm being available to you. Am I being the best that I can be, just trying to make sure that you're taken care of and while you're on this journey? Because honestly, it's really challenging and can be very scary for people to put themselves out there and ask for help. And I feel like, that's what these people are doing, is they're reaching out, they're asking you for help. And our job is to make sure that they do get that help and that they feel valued. And then, a lot of the times when I do the voice messaging actually has helped a lot, but technology and people, they want to hear your voice. Like Erica had said, they want to hear that inflection, the encouragement, the excitement, and all of those types of things in your voice that keep them motivated. Because when we're just sending them messages, like we're just saying, hey, how's it going? Like, how are you doing with your routine and your regimen? Are you getting your water in? People don't hear the emotions and the excitement behind your voice, that you just want them to succeed in this. And that's, it's a big thing to just really find a time, be like, is there a good way to contact you? Is it getting on the phone? Is it, is there time? Is like, what time, what day works for you? And then just get them on the phone. I've also noticed like a lot of my retention has been based on whether I've had a lot of people like share their success, where the shout outs are huge, those shout outs that we're asking people to do that help your business. Not only do they help your business, but they're encouraging the people that are watching. So the people that, are already your current customers, they might not feel like they're super, not that they're not supported, but maybe they're just not getting the same kind of like excitement and encouragement, or they're just not as, they don't believe in themselves as much as what we can show them. We can say that they can do this and all the things, but they have to see those visuals of our customers that we have and their success. So what I do is I do like to put a lot of success stories. I reach out to people asking for those shout outs, because those shout outs have built my business immensely. It has grown. Those success stories that my current customers have shared have impacted so many people, because one, they might know these people because in our small community here, these people know those people, these people. It's just that they know who these people are. And when they see those success, or just people that are close and personal to you, they see that success and they want that too. That is, you have just created a new goal for them because they're seeing it in people that are personal to you or people that they know, and sharing those success customer with the success, excuse me. I have a cold, so I'm like so nasally. I'm just trying to not, have the snot running down. Sorry, that was gross. But yes, so those customer success stories are huge. And they've been really helpful to my business and helpful to a lot of the people that do sign up and join and want to do this with me. I also, when I do ask for those shout outs, like it doesn't hurt to ask, all your people. It doesn't hurt to, if they're seeing success and you're doing your follow up and you're helping those people be successful. They want to show others too how they can be successful. And then that's where a lot of my teams and my business has grown, is because I actually get a lot of people signing up and they have success, and then they want their family to have the same success. And so making sure that we're asking for those reach outs is huge for our retention as well. But I'm trying to think of some of my other bullet points here, but so it creates the opportunity for us to be a mentor, to teach and continue to develop our relationship with our customer. It allows us to be able to help our customers grow in their business, but I've also actually had a lot of people grow in their faith too, and that's been really super encouraging for all of them to see what a community that we are and be able to grow with us. But I think that's pretty much all I have here, guys. And Allie was going to do and talk about schedules, routines, and customer connection. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks so much, Carrie. That was awesome. And I am proud of you, Carrie, for getting on this call and for sharing all of your tips with us. And I know a lot of us can learn a lot from you because you have been rocking it lately. And just like Erica, have been making some big shifts in the last few months in regards to customer care. And I think it was somebody in the chat, maybe it was Cassie, but like good on you guys for seeking out new ways to do business and seeking out where your blind spots might be and improving those areas. And I'm constantly trying to do the same. And everyone on this call should be doing that, right? Like if we see an area that is not a strength of ours, dig into that. Watch the trainings. I'm glad that you're here tonight. Learn new ways to say things, new ways to do things, new things to try out, right? Nothing needs to be done the same way by everybody. So please know that you can take bits and pieces of everything we're saying tonight and put into practice what you feel is going to work best in your business. Okay. You don't have to do all the things for all the people if you don't want to. Okay. These are each one of our kind of best tips and best bets. Okay. So don't feel like you're like, oh, I'm not doing any of those things. Like, that's okay. Grab, a couple things from here and one thing from there and like, just try it, right? See how it goes. And you will be surprised at the results that can be created by just some small shifts in verbiage or getting on the phone or talking to people more often or having more confidence in the way you speak to people or asking them for a shout out. You might be surprised at who actually is like, yeah, I'll do that for you, right? And turns out they know a lot of people that want Plexus, okay? So I just don't want you to be caught like a deer in headlights because there's so much information tonight. This is all wonderful, and I'm going to close this out by talking about some proactive customer care and really getting ahead of any issues that might arise. And kind of like what Erica was alluding to at first, like kind of avoiding that trouble you can get into when you find yourself with a customer who's already had negative results and you're feeling down and you're like, how am I going to get them back? And, we can sometimes get ahead of some of that with a lot of the tips that have been shared tonight. but some other things I'm going to talk about also, because we want to remember that we are essentially coaching our customers on their routine, on their products, adjusting things, their mindset toward what their journey might look like, the speed of it, right? Expectations. And we want them to become Plexus lifers like we are. We want them to become people who love the products and have seen the transformation and understand that it might get worse before it gets better for a little bit, right? There might be some people who go through tough detox, and we want to walk with them through that and show them that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And, it might have taken them decades to get their body in the state that it's in. It's not going to be completely fixed in 21 days. So as much as I might want that to be the case, it's not going to be the case. Okay. And it's important for us to be like enthusiastically talking to our new customers every couple of days for their first few weeks. I know that sounds like a lot, but if you do that work on the front end, you're not doing damage control on the back end. Okay. So it feels like a lot in the beginning, but I think that if we talk to our new customers as often as we contacted them as potentials when we were trying to enroll them to achieve some incentive, we would have much more success, and it would be a game changer. Because think about it. We follow up to get people to enroll, and we're calling them, and the deadline is 9 p.m. and whatever. And then they sign up and we don't talk to them for days on end. How does that make them feel? How does that make them feel? Right? Like, would you like to be at the end of that chase? I don't think so. Okay. And I know I do it, right? I have been there. I'm speaking from experience. So if you are in that right now, like, no shame. I 100% have been there. And then I took a step back and I was like, man, I was on Sarah like every single day for the last 5 days of the month. And she finally ordered, and then I didn't talk to her for a week and a half. Like, oh my gosh, terrible. Like, I felt mortified. Right. And so I realized that once people enroll, we should really be chatting with them about first, who can do this with them to help keep them on track in person, while we will be with them virtually or over the phone, right? That's the very first thing. I find that people are much more successful if they make a change like this alongside someone that is with them day to day, face to face. I'm going to be here for you virtually. I'm going to be keeping in touch with you every few days as you get started to make sure that you're getting into a good rhythm. But who can be by your side, locking arms with you to do this in person? Because that's going to be stronger than me, a Facebook friend, right? So if you can help them post about their new health journey to gain some companions, or call up a friend, or get a mom in a 3-way chat, whatever, try to get that going. And if they are like, I don't know, I'm going to have to think about it. You bet your bottom dollar tomorrow morning, I'm going to ask them if they thought of anybody overnight, right? Like, I don't leave it. I want them to be successful. And I've already explained why a companion will help them be successful, and that I've seen that to be true. And not only is it proven true because a personal relationship is going to be closer than a virtual relationship, people don't quit when they're getting paid. So that's the other little piece of that. And if somebody trusts them enough to join them, they're not going to want to let that person down, especially if it's someone close to them that they love and that they have a really good relationship with. So there's a lot of sides to that coin. So that's one of the first things that I'm talking about with them. It's not like, let's go silver, let's run with a business, unless it seems appropriate for the conversation, right? I always want people to know about the opportunity. But I want them to first and foremost be successful. So I'm talking about that, about companions that can do this with them face-to-face, day-to-day, coworker, mom, husband, sister, all those people, right? And next, I'm talking to them the next day or a couple of days later, kind of setting expectations, right? It's the water intake conversation. If that's something that's hard for them, it's diet and exercise conversations, right? Get an idea of their habits, of their daily habits, welcome them into our community pages, make sure they're connected with how to take their products. Ask if they feel confident in getting started with their products. Do they foresee any issues, right? Are they taking any other products? Do they have a weird work schedule? Do they commute funny out? Where do you see the obstacles, right? Talk through that beforehand. Discuss detox over and over again. I make sure people are aware that it's something that very well could happen to them, might not, totally normal. It's something I want to celebrate with them because there's a bunch of garbage in their body that has been building up for decades and needs to make its way out. Okay. So I'm upfront with them about that. And I'm also very upfront with them that I'm going to be connecting with them very often. So I want to make sure that we can connect multiple times per week. And like Carrie and Erica were saying, does phone work better? Does does an email work better? Do you want me to voice message you on Instagram? Like, what is that? Where is the spot where it's going to work best for you? I have brand new mamas who are nursing babies around the clock, and they're like, just text me between like 9 and 10 p.m. And like, that's when I'm going to be able to message you back or whatever. Right. People will tell you what their structure of their day looks like. And you can hold them accountable for what they told you. Right. Like, hey, Kim, you told me to text you at 9 p.m. Here I am, right. And when they begin their products, be careful not to ask, how you doing? How you feeling? Right. It's going to be so broad, could be negative, completely up in the air, right? And I hate to say that we're giving them leading questions, but you want to guide them on a positive experience. I'm not like a sounding board for someone's complaints, right? There's a very different experience that happens with that. And we're guiding them on a positive lifestyle change. Remember that. And you can structure your communication with them. Ask how they're loving the flavor of Slim, if they're looking forward to it in the mornings, if they're finding a good time to take their BioCleanse during the day, if they're getting used to taking ProBio 5 at bedtime, how is that working out as they're getting started with their products, or how did they enjoy their first lean shake, right? Do they love the smell of the Joyome serums? Whatever it is, you can really structure your questions more intentionally to help them think critically and be thoughtful and more positive in their answers, instead of finding the one negative thing to complain about. It's like the case of the Yelp reviews, right? Like, you could have the best restaurant in town, but you go to Yelp and it's all the negative Nancy's, right? Because when people love what they're doing, they're just like, yeah, this is great. I have nothing to complain about, right? So they don't say anything. It's like the one guy who had the burnt roll that's on Yelp saying this is the most horrible restaurant with the worst quality control, right? So you have to remember that it's the people are looking for things to complain about all the time. And that's just the way it is. Humanity is looking to poke holes in things. We're looking for ways for things to not work out. We're looking for things to break down. Everyone is skeptical of uncertainty, and that is very, very normal. So you can guard the success of your business by guiding your conversations in a way that are going to lead to positive, productive interactions. Okay. And you're going to celebrate any detox that arises. Okay. Not panic. And like Carrie said, it's okay to be like, I haven't had that before. I'm going to go ask what my friend Allie would do. If she's experienced anybody that's had that happen to them before, because she's been doing this for 6.5 years. Right. And mention again that it's junk being removed from their bodies. They might experience some temporary funky things. And this is a really good sign that the body is doing what it needs to do. Okay. And that is completely normal and to be celebrated. But if you're troubleshooting detox, here's where it's going to be a very personal experience to each individual, but there are some overarching things that are going to help shape how you troubleshoot and guide them through detox. So first, you're going to celebrate it. Okay. And you can go ask, for tips and stuff in the community like we do. These questions are what you immediately need to ask them though. You're just gathering information, right? You're not being judgy. You're just getting information so you can give them a more successful answer. Ask them what their routine is. Step 1, when are you taking your products? What does that look like? What is the dosage of all of them? Like, how does that look in your day? First of all, because if they're taking like 9 BioCleanse, which nobody does that, hopefully not, but you know what I mean? And they're like pooping their brains out. Obviously it's a pretty glaring issue, right? Like, take down the BioCleanse, if you can ask about what their diet has been like the last several days. I know people that all of a sudden are like, I'm having all these wacky problems. I'm like, well, you've been eating like garbage and drinking a ton every night and like celebrating and all the things. And I'm like, if you want to do that, great, but like, don't blame that on Plexus, right? Like, there's a thing here that we can discuss. And if you're having tons of fried food, tons of dairy, lots of alcohol, and lots of sugar, lots of rich foods, that stuff that's really heavy on your system, your detox could be more severe. So you can ask them to limit things in those categories and eat more whole fibrous foods, right? Get your digestive tract actually functioning the way it's supposed to be functioning. So that's something that you can really dig into. Are they moving their body? Your body's going to want to detoxify through sweating, bowel movements, and urination, right? And if you're not doing those things, then it's going to come out in headaches and digestive upset and skin rashes and all kinds of wacky stuff, right? It's going to show itself in all these symptoms that their body is probably prone to. They're probably going to experience heightened temporary symptoms that are things that they've experienced in the past, because their body already knows this is what we do when we're out of balance, right? And so maybe it's really severe sugar cravings. Maybe they're completely zapped of energy and they are exhausted and fatigued, right? So you want to understand what their diet, movement, product routine, water intake is daily, how their regularity is, any other supplements they're taking outside of Plexus. Okay, sometimes people don't tell you this, and turns out they're taking all this other stuff. Then you're like, wow, I did not know that you were also taking 2 other kinds of magnesium. Like that would have been great to know, you know? That's just an example, but you know what I mean? Get a full picture of what their life looks like. Are they under a ton of stress and they're saying, wow, my sleep is crap? You're like, well, you've been burning the midnight oil, right? You're going to burn the candle at both ends. There's a lot of stress in your life. You're eating like garbage and you're very sedentary. So let's see if we can change some of those things. You know, you want to make sure that you can guide them to some positive changes to help them detox faster and get a regimen that's going to work better for their body. So adjust their products, yes, but also allow them to see that maybe moving their body might help. Right? Maybe cutting back on the dairy and sugar might help. Maybe eating some more whole foods might be helpful. And let's really focus on that water intake, you know, and let's take a walk at lunchtime, whatever. If you can focus on little incremental wins, that's going to be the good thing, because you don't want to make it sound like detox is this humongous process for everybody, because it's really not. And I know that some people get really frightened about the first thing that they come to. But if you can say, you know what, tomorrow, let's just focus on increasing our water. And why don't we, you know, take BioCleanse down by 1 capsule. And then tomorrow, make sure they did that. Okay. So if you're going to say that they're going to do something, they're going to make a change, you need to check in with them at that time, connect with them at that time. And at the end of the day, did you do that today? Let's talk about how that went. Did you notice any changes in these different areas? Right? So be the coach, be the guide, right? Be the accountability partner that they are looking to you to be, okay? And hold them accountable for their consistency. They're trusting you to guide them. And if they didn't, they wouldn't have purchased from you, right? So if they start falling off, go back to why they started, kind of like Erica was talking about earlier, okay? What did they come to you about? Revisit that. Is that still important to you? Explain to them how the products work, how they're going to help them achieve those goals, and that you are personally invested in their success and you know that they can do this. Sometimes we get all up in our heads, like this has to be way harder than it really needs to be. And sometimes people are just like, I can't do it all. I'm like, you know what? You don't need to do it all. Tomorrow, can we just like try to have a slim some point during the day? Like, when is a time that works for you? Does it have to be maybe it has to be at 4 o'clock on their drive home from somewhere? Great. Put all your slim in your car, throw a water bottle in your car, and put a phone reminder for 4 o'clock tomorrow. I'm going to check in with you at 4:30 and we're going to see how that went. Okay. So little changes, doesn't have to be all or nothing, and make sure that they know that too, because it can be really overwhelming. And if you are accountable in that way, if you do what you say you're going to do and you help them really show up for themselves, they will grow in respect for you. They will say, you know what? She's good at her job. And she's really helping me work through some stuff. And I really trust her and respect her. And they might start sharing more about their life with you. You might notice you're going to grow in that trust and grow in that respect. And you'll grow in an understanding of what they need. You'll grow in an understanding of what their lifestyle is like and where their stressors are. And you might even be able to suggest some new products for them to try in the coming months, because sometimes not all the products work for all the people. And that's okay. Sometimes people order a large welcome pack and in 3-4 months, they're like, not loving this one, having a hard time remembering that one, whatever. And just like all of us here, not all of us take every single product, and nor do our bodies need every single product. And that's okay. But if we can grow in an understanding of what these people need and how their life is and what might benefit them, we can kind of recommend some other things. And these are a great tip, because people kind of come and go with the season sometimes, and maybe not come and go completely, but maybe somebody, when they're getting ready for summer, they're like all about weight loss, right? And then when they're heading into winter, they're like, I'm trying to boost my immunity. And that's okay. That's okay. The seasons happen that way. Our brains work that way. Life works that way, right? So if we can expose them to more products on an ongoing basis, they might come back to different things with different seasons. And that's what creates that plexus lifer, right? They know that their kids can use certain products, and we've got immune products, and we've got weight loss products, and we've got shakes for when you need them. We've got skincare for when you want that. And, we've got all the things for when you need different things. And once they get the hang of their products, I think you can spread out that connection with them, but make it valuable time that you are going to connect with them. So if it is a phone call once a week or every couple of weeks, going into those 3rd, 4th months, right? That's okay, as long as you're actually connecting with them and understanding, are you still sleeping well? Have you still been noticing that reduction in cravings? Or is your husband still noticing you're in a better mood? Whatever, right? Have you been keeping up on being more active? Are you still going on those walks at lunchtime? Remember the conversations that you had and bring those up again. Make sure they're still experiencing those things. Are there any other improvements that you've been noticing? Ask about their sleep, their mood, their energy, their cravings, their digestion. This 3 to 6 month mark, maybe even 2 to 4 months. That's kind of, I find, the sweet spot when people are kind of starting to see that domino effect. The first 30 days is let's figure out this rhythm. Let's work through detox. Let's get you on a schedule. Let's get you into a routine that fits with your life. And it might not look like what's on the Getting Started guide. In most times it really doesn't, because that's just a baseline for people to get started with. If we knew nothing about your life, this is what I would do for you, right? And it's okay. It's okay if Sally needs to drink her Slim at 4 o'clock and she takes her Bio Cleanse at 9:45 a.m. and then she takes her Bio 5 at 11:45 p.m. It's okay. It's fine. And it'll work just fine. And it's okay. And she doesn't have to feel bad about that. And you can realize that you can tweak all these regimens for everybody's bodies. But ask those questions and you can return back to that in conversation. Are you still noticing that you're more regular? Are you still less bloated? Is your energy still really good? Are you noticing any further positive changes? This is about the time, you guys, that I revisit sharing or having an event, messenger event, online event, inviting friends, posting all the things if they weren't super into it or they did it and fell off. Okay, this is when I kind of revisit that conversation, because I'm celebrating their wins really big. And even if it's not the main reason they came to me, I'll ask, you mentioned the other day that you were having incredible sleep. You didn't wake up once. Doesn't that feel amazing? Do you think you know anyone who might benefit from better sleep like that? Just ask. They might have come to me for weight loss, right? But I'm asking, how is your sleep? How's your mood? How's your energy? And they're like, I am sleeping like a rock. This is awesome. You know what? I bet other people might really, really appreciate that. Is there anybody you work with, or do you know anybody who might benefit from better sleep? Because we should have a conversation with them. It's amazing, isn't it? Doesn't it feel nice to wake up refreshed in the morning? So good, right? So those conversations can happen really naturally if you remember to do it, right? So ask that, even if it's kind of not their main concern. Those big wins feel more valid when you talk about them being worth sharing with other people. And quickly mention to them any incentives, right? If they're like, oh yeah, I think so-and-so, blah, 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 then tell them about it, right? Ask if they want to get their next few months of products paid for. They already love it. They've been doing it for 3 or 4 months. They're seeing great results, right? What do you think about having your next 3 months of products paid for by finding a few friends to do this with you? You already love it. Why don't I help you share about it, right? That's kind of where I go with it after the first few months. And now you might be thinking but my customer's ghosting me, not responding. And listen, I think we've set a really good tone here that if you're just chatting with them through Facebook or Instagram, you have their phone number, you have their email, you have so many different ways to get a hold of them. Reach out to them in another way. Honestly, sometimes ask them if everything is okay. How's life going right now? Is this season a hard one for you? You can be honest with them that I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. I'd love to find a way for us to, chat, and what would work best for you. Is there a way we can schedule a phone call for Friday? And there might be something else going on in their life that's really overwhelming for them. And if we can do a little bit better in asking them, not just about if they took their Bio 5 last night, and more about life, that really helps grow in that respect. And the odds of them responding and wanting to get on the phone with you are much higher. But listen, if you're doing everything you can to help them and they're still like being inconsistent, not coachable, don't take direction, you ask them to do things, they don't do it, have a poor diet, it's not your fault. Okay. It's not your fault if people make poor choices. And it's not your job to make them successful, but it's our job to help them be successful in every way that we can. Okay. So if there's some things that you're hearing tonight that you're like, oh, I'm going to try that, I'm going to try that, try that, go do it and do it with all that you can and stick to that. But some people will still quit, and if that's okay. When you do your best to be as helpful and as giving of your coaching as you can be with people, some of them still aren't going to go all in on their own health journey. And a lot of times they come back because they recognize the effort that you put into them. And that's what I really want you all to understand, is that even if you can't force somebody to be successful, you can show them that you are a business person, a friend, a human worth respecting, that they can trust, and they know that you're going to do everything you can to help them achieve the goals that they came to you for. And they might come back when they're ready. You're going to be providing long-term stability for your business by intentionally focusing on customer care in these ways. And enrolling a lot of people is not really going to mean anything if you're going to lose them next month. The care is the same for people who are starting to share about the business. Okay. Remember to work closely with them and guide them and talk to them often. And remember that just because they shared with their Aunt Sally and their Aunt Sally signed up and they both love the product, she's not automatically your business builder, right? Like, remember that she's still a brand new person on the products who needs guidance and might go through detox, and you know what I mean? So you have to kind of walk that line of understanding their life and where's their position on the products and where, what space are they in? And the more we can have a close connection with people, the more we'll understand that. And we can recognize, read the room, right? We can read the room with them. And they will see that our efforts are in their best interest and our heart is for them. And that'll strengthen that relationship. And you'll have this strong team that will really grow in these times of momentum and stay really stable in the times of, the slower seasons of less momentum, right? When you see these big waves back and forth, it's because you're gaining all these people and then you're losing them the next few months. And I would hate for any of that to happen to you. So like, moving forward, I kind of challenge you in the next couple of weeks, connect with everybody who has joined you this year. I think that would be a great task through the end of the month. Even if you talked to them yesterday, people want to feel seen. They want to feel cared for. They want to feel important, right? They want to feel loved. And moving forward, make sure that you have an understanding of the value in customer care, because we can get into that rut, like Erica was saying, that feeling like I'm scared of this. I don't want to have a negative response, or I kind of dread this. Customer care is not my favorite, right? And it's okay if it's not your favorite. That's fine. But we need to have a confident stance that this is very valuable in our business, and it's valuable for the people around us and the people that are joining us. And my little personal tidbit is like, have a organized follow-up system. If you're like a chaotic person with all the sheets and sticky notes and random phone notes and screenshots and stuff, like, slow down a minute, slow down, line it up, whatever that means for you. Line it up, slow down, and then you can speed up later because you've got everything in one place, whether it's virtually, on paper, in a calendar, on a spreadsheet, whatever that is for you. Create a system so people aren't falling through the cracks. Try some things out, get with your sponsor, get with your sidelines, hone in on where you can improve, okay? And find which of these tips we shared tonight that might work for you so you can give your team outstanding customer care and guidance and keep that up moving forward, not just for the next 14 days. Okay. And you're really going to see your team grow, you guys. Carrie and Erica both, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but like, they really focused on retention for a few months. And even with like not super massive enrollments, they each saw point growth, huge point growth. And it was not a huge enrollment month for either of their teams for a couple months, right? Yeah. Erica had one enrollment and her points grew like a ton. And so that is from her customer care. Okay. It's important. It's worth your time. So If anybody thinks of any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to us. I'm going to be posting this. So if you comment any questions or want scripts or want any examples of things, we are here for you. And we want to help you because hopefully you can learn from our mistakes. And it's okay to say, I'm wrong. I didn't know enough in the beginning. Like Erica said, I really apologize for not doing my best in coaching you. I really didn't connect with you as often as I could have. I have learned so many things. So that's all right. If you're not doing the best now, and this is an area you can improve, this is your opportunity. So I hope this was helpful.
May I just quickly
Yes.
add, for those of you that don't know, because there are a few people that I'm unfamiliar with on the call, or maybe don't know my story, that I quit Plexus twice before, to not Allie's fault at all. She was my sponsor all 3 times I've done Plexus. And it was honestly 100% my fault. I ghosted her like none other. And using that experience for me, and now knowing how amazing these products are and how consistency is so key. That has been really encouraging. And if you're ever curious, like hearing from someone that has quit before and has come back and now is building a business with Plexus, if you ever are curious, like I have someone that quit and I need like some guidance, please feel free to reach out, because it has been, I mean, this has changed our lives. And if I wouldn't have humbled myself to say like, hey, Allie, so we're going to try again, or whatever, like that did take some on my end, like you can't force somebody to do that, but for her to always give me quality customer care throughout that entire experience, she never held it against me. She also never assumed that I was a permanent no. And that I think is key. I mean, she's never assumed that, she's always just assumed that I was coming back and that it was going to be for me. And she knew, she was confident enough in the business, the company, and the products, and her ability to help me walk through this, that she never discounted me. And that was really important. So keep that in mind as you work with people that you haven't retained over the time. And it's worth trying again. And you don't have to do it every month, but don't stop trying.
So good. I love that. We need don't stop believing right now. That's what we need right now. Anyway, no, that's so good. That's a good message to end on, Erica, is like never discount anybody, because you can do everything in your power to try and help them. But if it's like not a space in their life that they're going to commit to it, that's okay. But now you've got this toolbox full of all of these things that can help you guide the people you have now and be ready for when they come back, if it's not a good season for them, right? So thank you all for being on. Appreciate it. Love you guys, and proud of you for making time for yourself and your business tonight. Okay. Have a good evening. Bye.